I'm Frank Sepe. I'm here with Derek Panza.
Hello, I'm Derek.
Welcome to my first show on Paltalk, and let me give you a little background about myself. I've been on the front lines of fitness. Sounds cool, right?
Very cool.
The last 15 years. Started off as a bodybuilder. Got involved in the writing process. Written 5 books. One is called The Truth, the only fitness book you'll ever need. Then I wrote 4 more.
Yeah.
I work for Metrics. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Metrics magazine. I've worked on HSN. I have my own brand, Frank Sepe, as a fitness as a lifestyle. I've been a top trainer. But doing all of that is great, but I'm most passionate about working with people one-on-one. So this is a great opportunity for me to get to know all of you and for you to ask me questions about fitness, about nutrition, about trainings. I'm not your typical fitness expert. I don't like to talk above people. I don't like to, throw some terminology out there to make me seem smarter because I know I'm already smart. I'm here more to motivate you because you can have the best fitness plan in the world. We could write it up right now. I could write it off for you. But if you're not properly motivated, that piece of paper is not worth anything. Okay, so I'm all about motivation, all about helping you reach your goals. I'm here with 3-time world kickboxing champion Derek Panza, and he is someone who knows how to reach goals and obtains goals, and
Absolutely.
He'll be helping you as well. Before we even get started, I want to talk about the Metrics magazine. The Metrics magazine. Go on metrics.com right now and you can get yourself a free training towel. You can actually get the magazine for free. Just sign up for a free subscription at metrics.com. We have Guy Mesger on the cover, and actually Derek is in here as well. And
they're just getting beat up by Guy Mesger, though.
Derek's in there getting beat up. So, there's a lot of different topics to talk about, and I could talk for 6-7 hours straight. I've done it on HSN, done it on ESPN. So it's more about, I want to handle a bunch of different topics today and just, or have an organic conversation with my friend here, Derek, because we have a lot of the same beliefs in fitness, and if we don't, you're going to hear about it. We'll have a little heated discussion, though I won't get into a fight with him because he is 3-time world kickboxing champion. But what I want to talk today about is excuses and how they affect your, working out, how they affect your entire getting in shape. Because I always say the choices we make will dictate how we look and how we feel. So if you make the bad choices, you're going to look bad, you're going to feel bad. So I want to talk, what are some of the excuses that you've heard as a trainer that, why people don't show up, or, they're not on their diet, or what have you?
All I hear every day is excuses from people. I train a lot of people for years, and I love training. I find training fun, first of all.
Right.
So for me,
it can be.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're really good at something, it's because you love it. You love to do it. When you were a bodybuilder, it's because you loved being a bodybuilder.
Right. There are no mistakes, as a bodybuilder. There are only lessons. You learn from these things.
And you love being in shape. I love being in shape. But what I hear from my students is, they were up too late, they worked too many hours, their husband or wife brought home their favorite flavor of ice cream, how could they not eat it? They didn't want to insult the person that made the pasta dinner. Right. It goes on, it's ongoing, the excuses are forever. Well,
that was one funny thing. I was a trainer at actually Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym back in, the day in Syosset, and I was training a client, and we were training really hard. We trained like 2 hours a day, and she came to me and she goes, I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just not getting the benefits. And I go, well, are you following a diet? Because you can follow a training routine all you want, but if you're not dieting too and following a good plan, you're not going to see the results. She's like, no, I'm eating everything you told me to. I'm like, okay, cool. So it happened to be a deli. The deli in the corner.
Yeah.
So after I'm done training with her, I went to go get a cup of coffee. And I walk in, and there she's sitting there. She's got her giant bag of potato chips, sour cream and onion. She's got her roast beef here with the mayo. And I looked at her, I'm like, it's just not working. Like, you start to feel bad about yourself. Like, maybe my plan's not great, whatever. But you know what? You're all the excuses. We're talking about excuses. You're only fooling yourself. I mean, the excuses are what's stopping you from obtaining your goal. There's always an easy way out for fitness, because it is so hard. Because if you really want that body, think about it. The richest man in the world, does he have a 6-pack? I don't think so. Because you can't buy one. You can't buy that 6-pack, you know what I mean? So people look for excuses to get out because it is hard work. There's no magic pills. There's no secret remedy. I'm not If there were, I'd be in my lab mixing things and you know, put a price tag and try to sell it, but it's not going to happen. It's basically hard work, and people don't want to put the maximum effort in to get those, you know, to do that, to get the results.
You know, I find that a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. I mean, you wrote a book called The Truth,
right.
But a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. You know, because when you look at, there's so many dieting fads and fitness fads, and the one thing people try to avoid, and you can't avoid, is discipline, consistency, work ethic. These are things that there's no way around. I mean, there are better training programs and other programs. There might be ways to package a diet that seems kind of different, but in the end, we all know how to eat right. Pretty much. We all know that Mother Nature gave us a lot of good food. Yes, you should eat your salads. Yes, drink a lot of water. Eat quality proteins. But people, they look for an excuse.
Of course.
They make up their excuses.
Well, you know, it's funny too, and it's like going back to that, you were talking about protein. I've trained many women, and they're, you know, majority of them, in my experience, they're afraid of protein. They're like, oh, no, I'm going to have granola and yogurt for breakfast. And you're like, well, what is your protein? Protein's the most abundant nutrient in your body. You know, hair, nails, skin, muscle. They're like, well, I don't want to get too big. So I said, what do you have for breakfast? Well, I had a muffin. Well, a muffin has 400 calories, you know. Well, I had a scooped out bagel with cream cheese in it.
Yes.
Really? Well, I don't want to drink the shakes because they're going to make me too fat. Seriously. The last time I checked, a lot of different shakes had like 200 calories. They're all made of protein and all that good stuff, you know, like nutrients and vitamins and minerals. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's it's stupidity is what it is. You know, it's lack of knowledge. It's trying to, like, you know, to dispel those myths. If you have someone out there who's going to dispel those myths, it's only going to make you better at, you know, achieving your goal. People can't get over these little obstacles that they put in their mind and saying that, you know, I can't do this because if I eat protein, I'm going to get muscles. There's guys in the gym who working out for 5-10 years. I walk in, they do the same routine. They're lifting heavy weights, and they haven't gained an inch on their arms yet. Like, you know, they look exactly the same. Protein, you know, they're not eating enough protein, they're not eating enough good foods. It's just funny. It's just like, there's so many excuses, so many myths out there in fitness. Like, you know, with women, like I just said, about putting too much muscle on. You know? But
what I find kind of funny is what makes you unique in fitness is that you really are a fitness person. And I say, I know that sounds crazy, but there's plenty of people in the fitness industry that really aren't fitness people. They're kind of trained quasi-actors that came from a different background that sort of kind of got a little bit in shape. Right. But you're truly a fitness person. Your life is devoted to fitness. I'm the same thing my entire life. Martial arts, fitness, training for fights. What I've done for the last, 30 years is figure out how to get my body in the best possible condition at all times. In many ways, people like myself, like you, and there's plenty of people out there that are not qualified, but almost super qualified. Right. And my obstacle is always, I'll put someone on a program, I'll be training them, and then my girlfriend told me, your girlfriend? Yeah, your girlfriend. My girlfriend told me if I kickbox, it'll make my hips big. Your girlfriend told you that? Who's your girlfriend? Where's the basis of her research?
Well, that's interesting too, because you're, as a martial arts expert and, being in the field for most of your life too, obviously, you have the people, you're caught between the Taibo people and the I want to kill somebody people. Yeah. It's absolutely. Like, but you're in between, but they don't realize that, if you train martial arts and stuff, it's for cardio, it's for building lean muscle and stuff. People either have, well, I want to do Taibo, so it's more of a dance coordination, or I want to knock somebody out. Yeah. They don't really get, it's starting to turn around now more, where people are integrating martial arts into the workout. Yeah,
people are realizing that they can train martial arts seriously, but they don't have to necessarily get beat up. Right. But they don't have to do a pure aerobics class where they're learning bad kicking and punching form, where they're going to actually hurt their elbows and their knees and their ankles because they're turning the wrong way, because the aerobics instructor took a 2-hour certification course on a Saturday and now claims to be a kickboxing instructor.
That's exactly what it is.
Right. So, I mean, people are finally starting to get the fact that you can actually train kickboxing correctly and for real, and get in shape and not get beat up necessarily.
And I also want to talk too, if you go to metrics.com right now, you can sign up for a free subscription for the magazine. You get a digital version as well, and get a free Metrics training towel. So definitely go into Metrics magazine. And, that's the funny thing, we're talking about all these different things with fitness. In the Metrics magazine, each issue, people like Metrics, Is it bodybuilding? Partly. You know, is it wellness? Is it everything else? It's about living a healthy lifestyle, and all the things that attribute living a healthy lifestyle, like good nutrition, you know, motivation, body-specific training, yoga, kickboxing, whatever. It's all in the Metrics magazine, so don't think that Metrics is a hardcore brand. You know, I'm sitting right now, I weigh about 220 pounds, you know, and I do a lot of Bikram yoga. I've worked out with Derek, and he's just, you know, he's not going to beat you up when he trains you, I'm sure.
If you ask me nicely, I will.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, all these things will make you a better person. There's not one right thing. I love the people who are like, you know, I've gone to Bikram yoga, and they're like, I walk into a class, and they're like, oh, you know what, you have too much muscle. I feel sorry for you. You know, you're not going to be able to do these poses. And I'm like, really? So now having muscle is bad, but the person standing next to me at like 40% body fat who can touch their toes is in better health than me? No, I don't think so. Do I think it's important to be flexible and strong? Absolutely. Am I better now? Yeah. That's a big fear people have, is that, you know, they're afraid to try things. They're intimidated. You know, for me to go into a room full of yogis, you know, and at my size and you know, and with abs and everything, they're looking at you like, what are you doing here? But to integrate yourself into that and do it, you know, it just makes you a better person. So you got to get over that intimidation factor. But some of these people are like, oh, there's only one way. It's the Pilates. There's only one way. It's kickboxing. There's only one way. There's a million different ways, and you get that, right?
I get that all the time. You know, and not only do I get that, but I get the myths that come with it. I love when people say, now, first of all, I like all forms of fitness, and I'm not saying that to be politically correct.
Right.
Yoga is a great thing. Pilates is a great thing. But I can't stand when people tell me, Pilates will lengthen you. Well, unless you're surgically cutting their femur or tibia and adding bone, nothing is lengthening anyone. Yes, maybe you could have a thinner body type. Maybe you could lose fat, tone some muscle. But if you're 5'2", I assure you, you will not be 5'7" when you're done with your Pilates curriculum.
Well, I've been 6'1.5" for the last 2 years, and I've been taking yoga. So I haven't gotten any bigger, so I understand that too. And it's you talk about these things and the myths and that are associated with some of the different forms of exercise, and you look at, you know, lifting weights. Now, people lifting weights, you think you have to be a muscle head, like, you know, that you can't bring your arm around your lat to scratch your back because you have to be too. But if you look at colleges, if you look at high schools, if you look at rehab centers, if you look at 99% of the gyms across America, what's there? Weights? Yeah. Why? Because there's no weight resistance. How do you replace weight resistance movements? How do you replace the dumbbells? You can't. No. It should be part of everybody's, you know, regimen. I mean, older people, their muscles atrophy every year. You know, even doing simple functional things around, like taking soup cans out of the kitchen, whatever it may be, you still want to have that strength. Lifting your kids up, you know, your grandchildren, you still, you know, you need to lift weights. You need to increase your muscle mass or even lean mass. And we're not talking, when people have muscle, they're like, oh my God, I want to be a muscle. Everybody has muscles. You know what I mean? It's not about being the overly, ridiculously big muscles. It's just about strengthening the muscles that you have. And the big fear is, you know, I can't lift weights. But if you look at everything as a whole in the fitness world, lots of things have evolved. You know, the bands, the balls, the machinery. But if you really look at the weights over the last year, have they really evolved that much? I mean, they've changed the sculpt. It's still the same premise.
Right, it's still the same idea. I mean, there might be rubber, there might be a different shape. They color code them now, but it's the same idea.
And I think the bands too are a great thing. I mean, there's no excuses not to work out now with the internet, with all the DVDs and stuff that you can watch. There's no reason why you can't get in shape even at home, you know, using bands. But the people don't. It's a culture shock. People don't know, like, you know, what to do.
You know, it's funny, you're talking about how you can't replace resistance training, and at any age, that's the truth. It's going to sound cliched, but my 92-year-old grandmother broke her hip about 2 months ago now. And breaking your hip in 92 is almost life-threatening.
Right.
And of course, my mother, my aunts, uncles, everyone was super worried. They had her in rehab for 1 month. She hated rehab. She thought it was the worst thing. They had her doing resistance bands in rehab.
Right.
My 92-year-old grandmother, she's stronger than ever now. She loves her therapist now. She can walk better now than she could before she broke her hip. It's because of resistance training. maybe she's not bench pressing a lot of weight,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
those resistance bands work at any age.
Does she get the 92-year-old other grandmother? She's like, what do you squat?
Right.
She goes, well, what do you squat? 185. I squat 195.
Oh my God.
That's a funny thing too. It's like, even at my age and my size now, people are like, you know, what do you bench? I'm like, I don't bench.
Those guys
what do you squat? They're still living in the 80s
Still
with the
in the
headbands
80s.
and the 90s.
Yeah,
It's like,
great.
it's funny. It's like, you know, you get to a certain point in your life where you just, you're thinking about longevity, and people, I get emails and say, well, how come you're not bodybuilding anymore? You sold out. Or how come you're not 290 anymore? I sold out. Well, the last time I checked, I've never seen a 50, 60, 70-year-old guy walking around, you know, 6% body fat at 300 pounds. It just doesn't happen. You start to think about longevity and good health and stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, that's what I'm here to talk about, motivation and health and better nutrition and better training. You know, because there's a lot of information out there, and I think a lot of it's detrimental to, you know, to people who honestly want to make a change. You know, you get these trainers in the gym, and you know, and they're like, here's a routine. Everybody gets the same routine. Here's a routine, and I want you to, you know, do this so you can't comb your hair or you can't lift something up. And then they're like, train them so hard that, you know, they couldn't wipe, whatever, they couldn't brush their hair. And then they don't come back ever. You know, like, so it kills them. They set themselves up for failure.
I know, and that's one of the fallacies that I have to break through also. You know, when I tell people when they first start to train with me, I tell them, I'm not going to train you that hard today.
Right.
And don't yell at me because you want the hardest workout ever. I understand you come to me for a specific reason. I was recommended to you. You heard I'm a great trainer. But if I break you down too much, you'll be overly sore. You'll be at a higher risk of injury. It's not going to help you. And anyone can kill anyone. Anyone can beat you up. Anyone can give you the hardest workout ever. But it's about, can someone make you reach your goals?
Gotcha.
And can they take it there in a way that's safe for you? Rather than just coming in and just have this guy lift a ton of weight so he can't walk around for 3 days.
Gotcha.
Doesn't help anybody.
I think we have a call. Do we have Rick from Pennsylvania? Is that how this works? This is our first time running through this.
Yeah. Rick, you there?
I don't know. We don't have a connection. But anyway, too, you know, going back to the Metrics magazine, and, you know, I've been working with the magazine as editor-in-chief for the last 16 publications from the start, from the inception. And we've had celebrities on the cover, from Shamar Moore from Criminal Minds to top athletes to a lot of different people. So, but, you know, it's interesting to me how different people train. Like, we have Guy Mesger on the cover of this issue. You know, you learn, I think you take a little bit from everybody in your training. Like, maybe this guy's ab routine, or this person's, you know, stretching routine. And you put together your own routine, you know, that's cool, but it's I don't like when people, you know, they're like, you have to do this and you can't do anything else, and that's that. You know, it's like, you gotta see what works for you. And you know, if you do get a plan, you get a whole program, and, you know, and you start it and you start seeing changes, you get inspired. That's what it's about. You're seeing changes, you get inspired. It makes you want to continue with the whole process. But people now, they want that quick fix. They're watching TV shows like The Biggest Loser and all these other internet, you know, these reality shows where people are losing 50, 60 pounds in a month, and it's just, it's not, you know, it's not normal. It's not normal.
And I think they forget that on The Biggest Loser, number one, they're being trained and the diets are being watched 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
They're highly motivated, which is why they're on the show in the first place. So there's no real control group for that, because they're so motivated to actually put their life out there that they're going to get results greater than a normal person would under, you know, equal circumstances.
Well, too, I mean, you put people on TV, and it's like, you know, and they're like, they're going to be a little bit more motivated, I think, than the opposite.
Definitely.
All the people set up for failure. And that's what I think, too, when you have a goal, the best thing to do is, you know, you're like, I want to lose 15 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 5 pounds. You just write that goal down. Because when you write it down, it becomes verifiable, it becomes real. Otherwise, it's just a thought in your head. And with kids, with bills, you know, with everyday work, with that boss that you hate, you know, that pops right out of your head. But when you write it down, it becomes real. So you're like, I want to lose, you know, 15, 20 pounds. You write that goal down, and you keep referring to it every day. It sort of becomes real. It sort of becomes, you know, a job in a way to help create that goal.
It gives you a sense of accountability. You know, when you stare at something you wrote, and you can't lie to yourself.
Exactly.
So if you wrote it, you got to keep that promise to yourself. But you know, one thing that I personally do that's always helped me, and I still do it today, when I have goals in fitness, in anything, but specifically in fitness, I tell my wife, I tell all my closest friends, because they're going to call me on it. So if I say something like, I'm not going to cheat on my diet at all for 2 months,
right,
and they see me reach for a pack of Twizzlers or something, they wait, what happened to, boom, I need people to call me on my own goals.
Exactly, yeah.
That always helps me.
That's too, and it's like, we have Facebook. Everyone has a Facebook page. Everybody has, a social network where they're posting pictures of themselves. And actually, even myself, I try to stay in shape, the entire year. I try to live a healthy lifestyle. But there are days where I'm in better shape, or I'm really, fixed on training harder for a certain event, whether it be a magazine, whether it be a new product that I have out that I have to shoot a DVD or whatever it may be. I always, try to take it to the next level. So when I post pictures on Facebook and you get the feedback, it's almost like you get that, looking great, and it's still at work, someone's like, you're looking a little bloated. Sometimes you could weed out the idiots and whatever, but it's kind of like, that helps you, keep inspired. And it's just funny, it's like, no matter how fit you get or whatever, you always, I know from my perspective, always try to get a little bit better. I compare pictures now to back, 5-10 years ago, and just compare them, and that's what people should do too. Is I always say, with the truth, the time is now. The T. That time is now. Like, why not? Why wait?
Absolutely.
Why wait till? I'm gonna wait till after Thanksgiving. Okay, so you're gonna be another 5 pounds heavy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till after Christmas, so you're another 10 pounds heavy. You know what I mean?
I use that same thing, when I write diets to people, and they say, well, I'm gonna start Monday. I go, they're like, well, when? I'm like, now. Well, you mean tomorrow?
Right now.
Now. Start now. By tomorrow, you'll actually feel better about yourself.
Exactly. And that's what I say, like, the time is now. So take that for what it's worth. Look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a reality check. Look at pictures of yourself back, 5, 10, 15 years ago, whether it be old school baggies, the Z Cavaricis, whatever you were wearing. Look at yourself in those pictures, look at those pictures and see how you look now, right? And then really compare. Take a picture of yourself today, put it next to each other, really give it. Now, what happens if you continue, if you're on the same path now? You're just going to get fatter, you're just going to get more out of shape, taking years off your life. So that's what I mean by a reality check. You get your doctor, examine your blood, get your blood test, and if the doctor says, you have this, and wrong with you, well, when are you going to make that change? You need to make it now. Then I always say, you unleash that mental power. Because, again, you can't be going into a lifestyle change if you're not mentally prepared. And then I talk about T for training. You have to train on a consistent basis, cardio and resistance, and then H, healthy nutrition. So you have to follow a healthy nutrition plan, and that's what you need to create a better and fitter you. So it's like, I've been in this industry a long time, Derek's been in this industry a very long time. There's no magic pill, there's no, there's nothing but what I just said. It's just the truth. That's what it is. And people don't want to hear it. They want to hear, I drank this juice, and I lost 50 pounds, and I have abs. It's not going to happen.
It's funny, because we talk a lot about the truth, because that's the name of your book. Yeah. And not only is it the truth, but there also are no secrets.
No,
either.
Exactly.
Right. There are no secrets. I mean, there's different ways to present them. I know that when I look, because I'm always looking to expand my knowledge, when I'm reading something, I want to see someone's method. I understand that cardio is cardio, but I like to know new ways of doing cardio.
Right.
But you can't get around it. You have to increase your heart rate to build a healthy, strong heart. So there's no secret in that. There's no secret that you have to do resistance training. Seeing a new way to do it is interesting for me.
Sure.
Learning new recipes to make healthy food taste good is interesting. But you know what healthy food is. You know that eating tons of processed foods aren't healthy.
Got it? Of course.
We can find new ways to cook healthy food, though.
Well, it's always a secret, That's what's funny. When I came out with the book, too, people would ask me, they said, actually family members, what's the, can you hook me up with a diet? Can you hook me up with training? I'm like, I just wrote this book. Like, I have a different secret.
Right.
We have a question. Samantha in Illinois wants to know your background, how you got to this point where you are a fitness expert. I basically started 13 years old, I started actually lifting weights. 13 years old. My father was a narcotics detective. They used to call him Tom the Arm. He had big arms or whatever. And every Christmas I would get a different piece of fitness equipment, and I would work out in my basement. You know, me and my brother would be fighting because he, you know, over the bench or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And so
in pajamas.
in pajamas, you would fight, listening to Phil Collins' "Air of the Night."
Course,
You're like pumping them down, and so I started very early, 13 years old, started training, and I became a fitness model. I would say a model, fitness model, 19, 20 years old. Shot so many different things, magazines, romance books, what have you. And at the time, I took training certification. I was an NFPT, so many different training organizations I signed on. I took basically numerous tests, SMART, Scientific Management, Anatomical Responsive Treatment, the ISSA, Master Fitness Training, International Sports Science Association, Master Trainer through Dowling College. Was a SMART certification. But I've done a lot of different things, and a lot of practical knowledge as well. As a bodybuilder too, for 3 years competing, I got a lot of knowledge, you know, in that industry, trying to transform your body to this, you know, gigantic superhero type person. But then I worked through the magazines. I wrote for Muscle Mag International for 14 years, columns every month. I had over 155 columns. Worked with a lot of different publications, from Good Housekeeping to Cosmopolitan. Worked with so many different people as a trainer, hundreds of people. Got involved in the fitness industry, Axel, Health Smart Today, Health Watches magazine, was group editor, in charge of all the editorial for all publications. So my knowledge base has been in a little bit of everything, from supplements to herbals to training, to exercise, to yoga, what have you. So I have a lot of different versatility in my background too, and the books I've written are based on my experience working out with trainers, working out with clients and stuff. So I have very you know, vast, interesting experiences in health and fitness. I had a live one-hour talk show on Hay House Radio as well, ESPN, Cold Pizza. I worked as a fitness expert, Howard Stern show, pretty much every local news from Good Morning America to so I think too, when you say fitness expert, you know, fitness guru, I consider myself, you know, a great fitness motivator. Someone will help, you know, help you reach your goals in that way. I don't like the term expert. I know it's thrown around a lot. I think people say you have to have 10,000 hours to be an expert. Is that what they say? It's like 10,000, and I have much more than that, than 10,000 hours if you really think about it. But that's kind of the background that I have to answer your question, and that was Samantha from Illinois.
So basically you have more than the 2-hour certification.
More than the 2-hour certification, but I understand expert. And also one of the biggest things I like to do is the fitness photography. I've been on over 100 different magazine covers in fitness, but about 7 years ago I started shooting for AXL and Health Smart publications, and now I actually shoot multi-million-dollar ad campaigns. I shoot a lot of the ads and stuff for Metrics, all the editorial for Metrics magazine. And one of the people, actually one of the hosts on Paltalk, is Diana Falzone, and we have Diana Falzone in this issue right here. So if you could check that out, got a little Diana Falzone talking about military.com and the Metrics magazine this issue. So, and again, you go to metrics.com, you get a free subscription in the magazine, and also you can get a free training towel. So that was expert. People always want to know, because we're talking about fitness people talking above you, and that's what it is. People are like, oh, I have 75 degrees and this and that. Great, but are you a great motivator?
Yeah, you know, and as far as your qualifications go, I think, you know, there are something that is so simple. You look the way you look for the past 20 years for a reason, because you know how to make yourself look that way. And, and no matter what attributes God has given any of us, you don't get super lean and muscular by accident. It doesn't happen, and the best part is you've maintained it all these years. It's not that for 2 years you were in shape, you know, in your life, because we get a lot of that. Well, back in college I was, or in my 20s I was, well, you know what? Neither one of us is in our 20s anymore.
Right, exactly.
And, you know, we've been able to maintain a certain level of fitness because we actually are experts, like the word or not.
Yeah.
We've shown a consistency. We've modified our training as we've gotten older to be safer.
Right.
We've used our knowledge in our own lives. I mean, just the fact that we're both fathers, we're both dads, we have different goals now. We don't need to be really big and muscled up. We want to have a strong heart so we can play with our kids for the rest of our lives.
Exactly.
We've modified our training in a way that can help other people, our own clients.
Inspire other people, exactly. I think we have another question here. Question is from Rick from Pennsylvania, has cerebral palsy. He's trying to build a little muscle, but the trainers don't seem to know much. Can you suggest some kind of stretching and coordination training for him? He doesn't have much money. And here's a question too. I get a lot, especially on live programs, I get a lot of calls, whether it be on HSN or whatever, with people who have some sort of ailment, or whether it be cancer or cerebral palsy. And I say, you know what? I am not a doctor, and I would never, ever give advice to somebody who has, you know, an issue like that. Because I think when we talk about experts, a doctor is an expert in that field. You know, an occupational therapist, someone like that. Because unless you, my thing is too, unless you take somebody and you put them through a battery test, you have them fill out, you know, a form before you train them, get to know their back history and stuff. That's what a real trainer does. You just can't give everybody a, you know, this and this. I think there's, you know, you have to have some sort of responsibility to people too, to, you know, to really, before you start training them. That's why I always say, even in the Metrics magazine, you know, get your doctor's approval first. You know, what would I say to somebody who, you know, I don't know much about cerebral palsy. I have relatives who have multiple sclerosis and stuff, and, you know, they try to work out, they do stretching, but they're limited in what they can do. So I don't know what his limited range of motion may be. Right. I don't know. You know, it's hard for me to diagnose over the phone. I know that you have psychics and some people who can talk and figure things out, but I'm not, you know. I'll legit, that's what I'm saying, you know, if I would just recommend asking his doctor for, you know, a routine. And, you know, maybe a doctor refer him to an occupational therapist or some of that, where there's precedent in a case where, you know, a routine has worked before. That's what I think.
I agree with you, because it's not that we don't want to help Rick out, but the truth is, in every neuromuscular disease, there's so many variables, you know, how it affects each person is so different. You can't just make a blanket statement and say, oh, this is the program for cerebral palsy. This is the program for multiple sclerosis. It's so specific for each individual.
And as far as I have much money, I mean, you know, and this is for across the board for everybody, you really don't need a lot of money. For people like this, you know, a lot of people are like, I don't have money, so I can't do cardio. I can't join a gym. I'm like, okay. I can't do, I don't have money for a bike or a treadmill at home. I'm like, okay. I'm like, but this is just as for healthy people who've gotten a doctor's approval. Can you walk? Can you run? And they're like, yeah, okay. Well, you can do cardio. You know, in his case, I don't know what, in cerebral palsy, can he stretch? Is he a limited range of motion? But maybe there's something that he can do. But I'm talking in generalities here about people. You don't need a lot of much money, you know, to do. People do chins at a park. They do obstacle courses. They do push-ups, calisthenics. There's always a way to make yourself a little bit healthier. And I always say this. Don't strive for perfection, strive for progress. You know, people always competing against each other and trying to, like, you know, I want to be better than this person. No. Just be a little bit better every day. Whether it's you have some sort of ailment, you know, whether you're trying to get that six-pack, you know, work up to it. Just try to get a little bit better every day, and that's what I say. You don't always looking for the fastest, the quickest. It's not about that. Just, you know, at your own pace. All those little things will add up to that goal at the end.
You know, I think it's important also we talk about that. You know, you mentioned before that people always say they don't have a lot of money for a trainer, or they join a gym, and we're blessed that we train at Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym, which is by far the most well-equipped gym I've ever been to. But the truth is, every time I travel somewhere, and people say to me, how was the gym at the hotel? I'm like, I got a great workout.
Yeah,
they're like, well, how was it? I'm like, well, they had a pull-up bar, and they had a mat, and all I did was pull-ups, push-ups, pull-up, push-ups. I ran outside 4 miles, came back to my abs. I had a great workout.
Exactly.
You don't need anything but motivation from inside. You have to start doing it.
That's exactly. And we got a text. Veronica from Texas. How important to fat burning is it to stay with moderate exercise? How important is this to fat burning? Well, look, you know what? If you want a fat burn, what do you have to do? It's always nutrition, number one, because, I don't know, I'm always going to say that. Nutrition is key. You know, when you look at some of these devices, stuff, they have the abs machines. Oh, look at this abs machine. Do 1,000 ab crunches and you're going to have 6. Give me a break. You know what I mean? You got to eat healthy. That's number one. You can work out all day long, but if you're not eating right, you're going to look like nothing. You know, it's like putting, I always say, you're putting bad gas in a Ferrari. It's like you're not going to get optimal performance. You're not going to look good. So number one, you want a fat burn. You want that body fat to stay off consistently forever. Then follow a healthy nutrition plan. That's number one. As far as moderate exercise, you know, winter's here, right? And I always make this, winter's coming. Now think about all the people, right, in winter who don't break a sweat the entire winter season because they're in the house. They go to the house to the car to work and back. There's not even in their, like, at least in the summer, they're outside, you know, they're swimming, they're running, they're jogging. They don't break a sweat the entire winter. So if you want to burn fat, try breaking a sweat. Number one, healthy eating, break a sweat. You know, as far as a routine, I would strongly recommend some sort of weight resistance. Okay? It doesn't matter how much, how heavy, just weight resistance combined with cardio. A minimum of 4 days a week, whether you're trained, you know, your chest and biceps together, large with a small, your back on one day, your shoulders and tries, and then your legs on the fourth day. That's fine. Or you want to do upper body one day, lower body next, upper body, lower body. That kind of a split. There are a lot of different workout splits. Depends on what your goal is. Maybe you want to target your legs. Maybe you want to fit in those skinny jeans. Something. Maybe you have flabby arms. There's different ways to prioritize what you need to do. But as far as cardio, I would strongly recommend that you do cardio. Maybe long duration, low intensity, and then high intensity, you know, cardio as well, short duration. So there's a lot of, you know.
Yeah, I think it's important just for overall to be in great condition, to have your moderate days, but schedule a hard day and schedule a light day. Right. Kind of take ego out of it and give yourself, you know, the day where you're supposed to work hard, the day you're supposed to work light, and on your light day, don't work hard. Give your body, you know, a bit of a rest.
Yeah, exactly.
On your hard day, there's no excuse. Work out hard. Mix it up.
Look, there are days I'm driving, you know, if I'm driving to the gym, I'm like, oh, this is the last thing I want to do. But then I think, you know, I'm like, what if I don't go? And for me, it's like, it's been so much part of my life since I'm 13 years old. It's like brushing your teeth, that I actually feel, you know, bad when I don't go. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like, you know, my serotonin levels in my brain drop. So, you know, I make it part of your life. It's almost like changing your entire life. Yeah. You know, and changing the way you think. We got another call here. Last tech question. They can, let's say, in Oregon, 22, lives in a rural area. The only exercise he does is walking a mile to the mailbox and back. He's looking for suggestions for exercising in that environment. Wow.
Walking 2 miles a day.
Walking 2 miles a day.
That walking pace is probably 3.5, 4.0 on a treadmill if he's walking brisk.
Wow. In Oregon, huh?
In Oregon.
Wow. Well, look, what we were just saying before, he can actually set, you got a mile, why don't you set up a little obstacle course? I'm sure if you're in Oregon, you got maybe a tractor tire.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You start pushing tractor tires, you know, like if you don't have weights, and I'm not even joking, if you had, let's just say you grab 2 rocks, right? Absolutely. You grab 2 rocks, and you're like, what am I going to do with 2 rocks? 2 rocks, right? You could do a shoulder presses, shoulder laterals, right? Front raises, and a bent over. Work all 3 heads of your shoulder, front, side, and rear, just by the rock. You could do bicep curls, you could do hammer curls, you could do squats. You could basically do, you know, an entire workout with rocks, like the Flintstone workout, whatever it may be. Yeah. But you could do that. You could set up like, you know, things that you could jump up, do plyometrics if you want. You could do plyometrics jumps. You could do calisthenics, right?
Add some walking lunges while he's walking. Right. Add lunges, and there's no reason why you could say every 30 steps you don't drop down and do whatever 10, 15, 20 push-ups. Yeah, there's an infinite number of possibilities. You just got to really think creative.
Craziest movie ever, Vision Quest.
Vision Quest.
Had the wood on his log.
The log, walking up the bleachers.
But yeah, there's a million different things you can do. Use things that you find and, you know, around, or, you know, like Derek said, you could do 2 miles. We could do tractor tires. You could do a rock workout, calisthenics, and That's that. So
you can sprint, walk also. You don't have to jog or just walk. You can mix that up too. Mix of intervals. You can skip, hopscotch the whole way.
Before we wrap it up, I want to say Metrics Magazine. Get your free subscription at metrics.com, and you can also get a free Metrics training towel at metrics.com. Check it out. And I hope you enjoyed my first show. Frank Sepe. I'm here with Derek Panza, and we wish you well, and we hope you reach your fitness goals. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot.